Hello everyone,
We're back!
we are back. The Kerblam Boys.
Yeah, baby, 2023
Happy New Year.
is the 60th.
Hey, this is the 60th, yeah. It's rolled around, I know we're still 11 months off, but I feel like it's rolled around quite quickly since that announcement.
Yeah, I felt that the other day when I was like, it was New Year's Day, and I was like, oh fuck, it's 2023. This is
Yeah.
this is the actual 60th. We're here now.
It's weird, because I think they announced Tennant and Tate about 8 months ago, possibly 9. I don't know, it was a while ago. That time has just been and gone like that.
It felt forever for like the Power of the Doctor to came out, and now that it's come out and we've had so much just content, like not even like we haven't even had another episode, but it feels like we've had Doctor Who nearly every week, like something to talk about and stew on.
We'll get on to just how much stuff we've actually been getting. It's not like one of those year gaps where it's like you're waiting and waiting and you get like these little snippets here and there, like a picture of a table. We are actually getting stuff, whether that be official or through filming images.
It's hilarious because like I was listening to our old episodes, you know, like our lockdown episode where it was like you and me were both very much on the way out with Doctor Who, and like we didn't think we'd enjoy it again. But no, the difference in like just a couple years it's kind of phenomenal, and you know I'm looking forward to getting into it because it's been a while since we've made one of these videos, and I think the last one we made was like Shooty was cast, so it's been things have happened. We're not reviewing the Power of the Doctor, guys. Sorry.
It was fine. I enjoyed it at the time.
Good regeneration. Liked that it was quite happy. I wasn't at all shocked when. So yeah, we could start from there. Like David Tennant is the 14th Doctor now.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't spoken about that, have we? Like officially, he is the 14th Doctor.
Yeah, because
speculation.
because before we were all just like, he probably will, like Jodie probably will become David, but it will be like a thing where it's like it's all gone wrong, and he's gonna be like it'll be reversed, and Shooty will be the 14th Doctor, but that's the only reason they haven't said it is because David will be. But then there was like. It became David Tennant, and we were all like, so our theories are confirmed. And then it was like officially announced. It's like David Tennant, the 14th Doctor, Shooty Gatwa, 15th Doctor. And it's like, oh, okay.
That's very interesting. How do you feel on all of that? Because I think to begin with, before it was actually all confirmed, I was quite cynical on the idea, but the more we've seen and found out about it, I have been more lenient on it, and I welcome the idea now. Because I completely understand why they've made it in the position they're in.
I 100% are of the same mind. Yeah, I hated it when I saw it. I was like, no, Russell, you're not. That is a complete mistake. It was just purely my fan brain was just like, oh, this is like when like the Fugitive Doctor first came through, not because I didn't like Joe Martin, but it's just like, and there's another one. Yeah, it's like there's another one, and she's before the first Doctor. No, the first Doctor is the first Doctor, and you know, and it's like David Tennant can't play two separate incarnations. It's not right.
Yeah. When you see that poster of all of them, and there's the two Tennants.
But now I fucking love that now. It's so bad. It's so weird.
And the thing is, I'm sure there will be an in-universe reason for it as well. Like, I don't think like a lot of people are going into it with, oh, he's just David Tennant again, and he'll just be playing the 10th Doctor again. And although I think, he'll be playing it similarly, I don't think this is just going to be a retread of Series 4 that I've seen a lot of people say.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it shouldn't just be David Tennant as the 10th Doctor again. But I think, like, you know, I've seen, like, on that new Regeneration figure set that's coming up, and the description is, like, the 14th Doctor, just like the 10th Doctor. And I've seen people complain about that, but it's like, yeah, but would you want David Tennant to, like, come back and suddenly he's talking in his native Scottish accent and he's acting like a completely different Doctor? No, that's not what you want from him coming back.
Yeah. The thing is, you've already had your multi-Doctor special in Power of the Doctor, one episode prior. And then it's like, what Doctors does that really leave that want to come back? Capaldi doesn't want to do it. Eccleston doesn't want to do it. So that leaves you with Matt Smith. And having an episode with Matt Smith and Catherine Tate, does that really work? People want Tennant and Tate. It just makes sense.
Yeah, and what you want from like these characters coming back and doing a whole reunion is you want to see where their lives are now. It would be all fun
Yeah.
and games like and they're it's like the Day of the Doctor already did that. It's like and we've gone back to like Tennant during the specials, and we see that Doctor again, and we get to relive that. Like doing that like again, and it's just like it's the Doctor and Donna during series 4, and we all know where their story ends. It's like this is so much more interesting, and I think we've talked about how much more interesting it's going to be as like a post. Because you can't just do well, you could, but it wouldn't be as effective of bringing back Donna and seeing her life. Like you want the relationship between Catherine Tate and David Tennant.
Yeah, and you couldn't do that with a later 10th Doctor either because it doesn't align with the timeline.
Exactly.
Like you couldn't have like just it's 10 and Donna again, but set a lot later because it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, this makes a lot of sense why they've done this, like both marketing wise and just logistics.
Yeah, and I just admire the balls on Russell to just be like, the 14th Doctor, it's like it's sort of like a fabled incarnation that we never thought we'd get because it's like Time Lords are capped to 13 incarnations. It's like the first 14th Doctor, and it's like a Doctor who's going to exist for 3 stories and is played by an old Doctor, and then they regenerate into a brand new like 15th Doctor, and it's so wild and stupid, and it's definitely taken time, but I'm used to it now.
I will be intrigued to see if they do like try and leave like a gap or something for Big Finish, or because you know that if they have a chance, Big Finish are going to jump on that and be like, it's out of time,
surely.
14 and 10.
But that's the thing, it's like when Peter Capaldi was still the Doctor and they got the New Who license, they could do stuff with Matt Smith characters and Matt Smith audios. So as soon as Shooty takes over, presumably over the festive period, as they're tentatively calling it, we'll get to it. But is like, do they suddenly go 14th Doctor box set with David Tennant? But that'd be hilarious. But they are doing expanded media stuff at the moment in DWM, Doctor Who magazine, with the 14th Doctor.
Like the first 14th Doctor story. Yeah,
the continuation.
I've not dived into it because I didn't get the first issue, so I have like issue 2 and 3. And I don't want to jump into the story because I could never get my hands on the first part. But it looks to be Daleks.
I'll link you a great YouTube channel that does motion comics, and they've been updating the 14th Doctor comics. So it's Daleks, which I don't know. After Power of the Doctors, just seeing, and then the Daleks are back. I mean, it was a big deal for comic fans because they haven't turned up for like 20 years in the comic. But as just a fan, it was like, and the Daleks again. Oh,
something
cool.
that I will say is that Russell has confirmed that that's the last of the Bronze Daleks that we're going to see in the show. So I think maybe this could like lead to, I don't know, tying them out or just kind of
seeing how the
like,
story is progressing at the moment. We're on issue 3, and so it's part 3.
Yeah.
There was an interesting twist, sort of, and I think this could very well lead to the end of it could be a reason, not like a massive and they are gone and the paradigms are back sort of thing, but like in a term of like this could very well be like their last appearance for a reason or something. But I'm definitely enjoying it. I definitely love the cross promotion, the idea that you can now I am now gonna probably buy, I'm probably gonna get my first subscription to Doctor Who magazine, which I never thought I'd ever do, but there seems like genuine reason for me to go pick up that magazine.
That's what I mean, because I started picking it up again towards the start of Jodie's era, and I kind of fell off with it because we just weren't really getting much. But now it's like we're constantly getting interviews, like stuff behind the scenes, obviously the comic story as well. Like we just have so much content now. But I've subscribed to it.
I know Russell has always been a fan of Doctor Who magazine. I mean, he was the one who started production notes, and he would write something for the magazine every issue. And then Moffat's, I can't remember if he did, he definitely did write production notes, but I don't know if he kept it up as regularly as Russell did. God, there's so many bloody showrunner names. And then, you know, Chris did the odd one here and then, but you always get the vibe from Chris Chibnall, and it's no this is not me slagging him off, but he's never been a fan of the promotion. He said that himself. It's his least favourite part of the job.
He said he doesn't like being in the public eye.
So, yeah, I can understand why he didn't do that. But then it did feel like you lose the incentive to buy the magazine.
Yeah.
And Russell has always been a fan. He was a fan of the magazine before he was showrunner. So he definitely sees it as an asset that he wants to use. And there's definitely like a good reason for all the cross promotion with the magazine, considering what looks to be happening in the 60th specials. But I definitely I'm looking forward. I keep saying this, I keep looking forward even though it's happening, but we're just at the very beginning, which is exciting, and there's still so much more to come. It's a good time to be a Doctor Who fan again, which is it's always nice in this period.
Because that's the thing, it's like, although we know a lot, at least we think we know a lot about the 60th, I feel like there are a lot of surprises as well they're holding back.
Oh, for sure.
Because obviously they have now confirmed, like, Beep the Meep, the Celestial Toymaker, or just the Toymaker.
Oh yeah, no, it's the Toymaker. Shh.
Yeah, I feel like stuff like that's really cool, because he is taking stuff from the past, but they're not necessarily, like, the most known elements of Doctor Who's, like, past. Like, he's delving into, like, expanded media, obviously, with Beep the Meep, the Wrath Warriors.
Well, after the Power of the Doctor, do we really want the Daleks and the Cybermen and the Master to come back for the 60th? You don't want to see those characters for a while, ages. I mean, I know you're very much against the Master coming back pretty much at all now. So
yeah, I just feel like they've done pretty much everything they can do with that character.
I can fully see that. So yeah, I wouldn't want all them back, and especially since like the centenary, it felt like it was just bringing them back for the sake of it being Jodie's last one and it being celebrating 100 years of the BBC. That didn't feel like, oh, we really need to see all these monsters and villains teaming up.
IP.
Yeah, it's just recognizable IP. Definitely. I'm much more on board with the story coming first before the classics. Before the things that people know what Doctor Who's for. It's like, and it's much more of a fan experience than if you bring back monsters that you aren't expecting to come back. Like, the general public knows the Daleks, the general public knows the Cybermen. No one fucking knows who Beat the Meep is, except Doctor Who fans. And that surely is like a celebration in itself of Doctor Who, is that that's something for the fans.
I feel like we're sort of getting the best of both worlds, because we've just had the big fan wanky celebration. It's like we're still sort of getting that with the 60th, but it's taking a new form, and I like that because it does feel like it is putting the storytelling before just here's a load of cameos and things to get you excited.
Exactly. We're hitting on the same points here, but it's just like the whole thing of like David Tennant coming back and like people are like, oh, where's Peter? Where's Jodie? Where's Matt? And it's like, sure, I'd love Matt Smith to come back. I think that'd be great. I'd adore Peter Capaldi to come back, and I'd adore Jodie to come back in some form of way. But do we need it? I wouldn't say so. Like, I'm much happier with Tennant acting as sort of like our new series, our modern series equivalent of Patrick Troughton, where he just comes back and that's all you need. You don't need the Doctors bickering with each other, because it's just like, even if Russell didn't intend to do that before, like seeing Power of the Doctor, it's like, we got that, we've had it, and it's like, and it's not like a thing that's like, oh, we had it 10 years ago, we just had it. It's done. So I'm just like, obviously bring back an old Doctor, like that's fine to celebrate the anniversary. Even if Shooty was available, we could have still just had Shooty. But it's nice the fact that we have brought back David Tennant. Like, who doesn't want to see him back? As a bloke, he's fantastic. Never mind like your opinions on the era or his Doctor. It's like, it's him. He's back. He's playing the Doctor again. He's the lead.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And it does look like Shooty is going to have like a part in it. Like, whether how big or small that is, we obviously don't know.
Unconfirmed, like overall, the only things because I'm not trying to spoil myself, but like the
Okay.
vaguest of things I have seen has pointed towards it sort of being like shooty is key to like the solution. Like he will come in, like it is about getting this whole 60th is about getting to his doctor. It's not just
Yeah.
here's David Tennant like whacking about and then we just like
Yeah, yeah.
end of it,
Yeah.
bang, shoot you get where it's like there is a story going towards his doctor, and Russell's even sort of loosely like
I've seen a lot
alluded
of
to that there is a
yeah.
path towards his doctor coming.
I mean, I've seen a lot of speculation about how the whole like Tennant like not wanting to go and almost him coming to terms with that.
I would love it if the some form of final line is like a spin on like I'm ready to go or something
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
Because it would feel like I was watching his regenerate. I was watching End of Time not too long ago, and it does sort of feel like his doctor does feel like he's the only one who's really raging against the dying of the light. Sort of like he's not finished, and it'd be great if we could readdress that because people like me see that as like, oh, that's really out of character. Like for the doctor should like accept it.
I think what they might do is and I was kind of 50-50 on this, the whole Donna getting her memories back thing, but I think what they are going to do, because obviously the 10th Doctor throughout his run, everyone he ran into, he did kind of ruin their lives.
Yeah.
So Rose gets sent to a parallel universe, Martha has their family terrorized, like Donna just forgets everything. And yeah, I feel like this is a way of giving both the character of the Doctor and Donna sort of happy endings, where it's like, okay, he has like almost repaid her in it, or like I don't know, given her some of that back.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I feel like maybe that's why he's accepting, like, okay, I've like not everything that I done was like I don't know, I know what I'm trying to say, I just can't get it out.
I understand. Yeah, I definitely know what
Yeah.
you're getting at though, because it's like it goes back to what we were initially talking about with like it's just going to be David Tennant doing the 10th Doctor again. It's like
Hmm.
it can't. It simply just can't be that because if he is the 14th Doctor, and this is why I think another
Yeah.
reason why him being the 14th Doctor works is that you're coming to it with like this is the 13th Doctor's next body. It's all those previous
Yeah.
lives after the 10th Doctor, but his personality, like against his will, seemingly has been reset, and like it wasn't and then suddenly it's like
Yeah.
he's regressed, and I'm sure that like you even hear it in the trailer. I don't know who I am anymore. It's like he's definitely gonna be having some form of personality crisis, where he's like he's that younger personality. He's gone back to those ways. That must be such a head
Yeah.
fuck for the Doctor.
Hmm.
I'm sure it won't be the main focus because you still got to do like beat the Meep and Wrath Warriors and
Yeah.
like Yasmin Finney, and there's lots of things to do, but I'm sure there will definitely be an element, because I trust Russell so much as a competent writer, that there will be stuff of like his personality, like who is he, who is this Doctor, who is the 14th Doctor, because if he's like he's been made to just be the 10th Doctor again, like why?
Yeah.
That's going to be so interesting character wise.
I think that's the biggest thing that's exciting me, is just what direction they end up taking it in.
Definitely. Should we get into like what we saw in the trailer?
How do you feel about the trailer coming out as early as it did? Because I personally don't mind it, but I have seen a few people kick up a fuss saying that it is too early to start promoting this.
I was shocked initially, and I did think, oh, a bit too early promotion, maybe. But I think that's you think you hear that out loud, and it's like, oh, that is very entitled of you to say after moaning that we don't get enough promotion.
Yeah.
And I think it is very entitled of people to say that as well. I think like there's certain members of the fandom who just they can never be happy. It seems.
The thing is, Russell has said in the past that one of the worst things for the show is when it isn't on air. And I think because he's trying to get ahead, the reason for putting this out as early as it was is that he wants to keep the show alive when it's off air. I feel like he's intentionally giving us little bits here and there to keep us on our toes until we actually get close. And I also don't think this is that out of like left field for a lot of like big projects like Marvel, Star Wars, stuff like that. I know like in the past they've put trailers out like what, maybe not as early, but like 6, 7, 8 months before.
Well, it's not even like a Marvel-y sort of thing. It's like a BBC thing. Like, think about it. Like a week later, they put their 2023 trailer where they show all the programs they've shot for 2023 in a big trailer. You know, it's nothing. It's nothing different from that. It's literally just this one's solely dedicated to Doctor Who, you know, and it was only a minute long, and most general public have gone, oh, that looks good, and then completely forgotten about it. It's only Doctor Who fans who care, you know. We were the only ones who were paying attention and knowing it was going to be there. No one else did. So I think people need to just take a step back and really just look. Close your phones, get off Twitter, and just think about what the general public.
But weirdly,
think.
I've seen a lot more of the general public, people that sort of fell off with the show. I've seen a lot more people talk about this trailer, and I think whether that's just the David Tennant pull or what, but they're like, Doctor Who's back, Doctor Who's on, or something. It's like this has sort of struck
because
something within the general audience. Like, I might tune in for that.
It's very much the anti-Chibnall era approach, like you said.
I think that's another thing that makes sense with bringing Tennant and Tate back. You might view it as a cynical thing, but it's like, people are going to watch it, and then if they enjoy it, they're more than likely probably going to stay on for Shooty.
If you boil it down, yes, it is a cynical thing of baiting on your nostalgia and people and the general public's nostalgia. Like David Tennant, the most popular Doctor, is back with Catherine Tate, a very popular person in Britain who was in Doctor Who and people remember was in Doctor Who. You know, you could do the same. You could basically do the same thing as and Billie Piper's back, but you already did that. So having Catherine Tate come back's at least something new. So yeah, definitely. It's not just going to be a cynical cash grab, and we know that though. And only fans care about that. The general public would probably be very happy if David Tennant just came back, you know. But he's not full-time, he's just doing this.
Obviously, the general public aren't exposed to stuff like Time Lord Victorious, all the Big Finish releases and books and comics and all the other stuff that we're constantly having shoved down our throats through social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, to them, the last time he showed up was 10 years ago in Day of the Doctor.
Even then, people might not even remember he came back there. Probably it probably feels like longer. Yeah, for fandom, it really did feel like, and this is the natural progression of where the Chibnall era has been heading, that Jodie Whittaker would literally regenerate back into David Tennant. So I guess the BBC, in some form or another, did get their wish in the end that he would just come back and save the show. But it's you gotta put that fandom side of you out of your mind though, because think of it this way. I'm hoping that now, with this new Russell era progressing, we bring back David Tennant, and then, we're done it. He's come back, and he's played the Doctor again. Anything else now, you can't, we're at the most extremist point of, what David Tennant can do in Doctor Who now. Yeah. It's done. And I've already seen the speculation that he's going to be in Ncuti Gatwa's first series, because of course. So, here we are. This is, it's the never-ending cycle of Doctor Who fandom. David Tennant is always coming back. The Rani is always coming back. Susan is always coming back,
Oh yeah, that's a new speculation. Yeah, Susan's going to be in the 60th.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? They've said, look, there's surprises, and I don't care, because I don't need to know. I'll watch the fucking thing and find out.
So yeah, just briefly going over the trailer then. It's a very nice looking trailer. I'll say that off the bat.
Did strike me, it did look surprisingly different from the Chibnall era. I didn't think it could look much different, but there's definitely a change here.
Feels more cinematic. It's consistently color graded. I like how soft it is. It feels like a Netflix show.
It's a little bit washed out, which I've seen some people say, oh, I hope it's not always as washed out as this.
I quite like that, because I think it was Billy Garrett John on Review of Death say that, and I was like, I don't know, I quite like that look to it.
it does give it an air of prestige drama, which it's not like that's a bad thing. So yeah, I didn't clock it at first what was completely different about it. When you say it's like, yeah, it's washed out, but yeah, I don't see that as a negative. I think it's just, it looks like they're just taking Doctor Who very seriously, and not saying it wasn't taken seriously before, but this is just like, and here comes a production company like Bad Wolf, who are like their sole responsibility is making this the best it can possibly look, and how good this looks.
What I like about it is that it looks great, but then it's still very Doctor Who-y, and something like the Wrath Warriors. I think they're really simple, and they are kind of tacky, but I like them.
Yeah, look, it definitely strikes me as like they're blokes in suits. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I love the big massive eyes. Like, they do just look like they've come straight from the comics. I like that they haven't tried to overcomplicate them.
The thing that surprised me the most was how Beep the Meep looks. So it was just it's a mix of a practical on-set performer, which we knew from the leaked set images, and but the CGI, and it's just like, even in that one shot, wow, that looks like impressively like real. Or real enough, like that can stand against like a His Dark Materials or something. That is definitely the new budget and the new production team working their asses off there.
He looks like Baby Yoda.
It's the ears. Like Beep the Meep is so my image of Beep the Meep is so used to the ears being up, but of course this isn't like a still image. So like the ears and like the body is gonna move and things, which is gonna be such a headfuck seeing like Beep the Meep's like that was like when Beep the Meep's mouth opened. I was just like, oh yeah, this is how Beep the Meep would talk, but I've never seen this, so this is weird.
I am surprised to see how it moves practically, because obviously we have to see that still like sitting.
Yeah,
I will be intrigued to see it like run around or walk or fire its gun if that happens or whatever.
Well, we've got a bloody Rachel Talalay in the director's seat, so hopefully it should look pretty good.
I hope she sticks around for Shooty's era.
I'd love that, yeah.
She's such a big Doctor Who fan as well. I've seen her posting constantly on her Instagram, like little bits and bobs that she's done over the years.
It was the fact that Russell, I think, said it was like, we saw how good her work was, and we literally like we threw ourselves at her. We begged her to come back. And yeah, the way she talks about Doctor Who in interviews and things, it seems like, yeah, that was definitely like, it's probably her favourite thing she's done in her career.
It does just sort of look like Russell is taking the bits that really worked from the show previously and then kind of putting them all together to create this one ultimate era.
What did he say? It takes a while to get an empire in shape, and it definitely feels like that's what we're building towards. Something Doctor Who becoming huge again. It never felt like, it didn't feel like it could be real again, but it's how quickly it can change, and suddenly it's like, oh my god, this is massive. This feels massive and important again. And it didn't before Doctor Who, like, you know, Power of the Doctor and all that. It's like, it felt like this closeted, like, if you watch this, you watch it. No one really, like, starts watching Doctor Who now. And no, this feels like the beginning of the biggest thing ever.
It's weird. Doctor Who feels like it's at the biggest it's ever been, and it's not even back yet.
Yeah. I also like that. This is a weird thing that I don't think anyone will talk about, and is the fact that it's like, with this so much attention now being brought to Doctor Who now, people are going back and looking, particularly what I'm enjoying is people looking back at the Jodie Whittaker era now, like that becoming like a reappraised sort of thing, like, you know, Melly Gibson coming in, and we will talk about all of this, we'll probably have to split this up into a few videos, but, Millie Gibson coming in, and she's talking about like, oh, where would you take the TARDIS? And she's like, oh, I would have loved to have done The Witches, but Jodie Whittaker did, like, that, her era did that. And it's like, oh wow, like, it's weird hearing that era talked about in like a past tense now, like, not like a thing that happened a few years ago, or like something that's currently happening, and like other eras talking about it, and like how Jodie and Mandip texted her when she got the part when she was announced. Like, that's lovely. That's like, it's becoming it's becoming part of that tapestry of Doctor Who, and how the Twitter account and the social medias, they're still, even under all this new, like, logo and branding and things, her era is still getting, like, appraised and, like, a focus of attention on, which is gorgeous, which is such a lovely thing. It's a little thing.
I don't think they're ever gonna, like, you know, just, okay, let's forget about that, you know. As much as I feel
but it could have very easily become that.
Yeah.
That was the worry, though. After the you know, the RTD, you know, it's all coming back.
It was very quick, like how they updated the branding. I think it was like 2 days after.
Yeah,
like,
that's been the only thing so far that has that worried me, in the sense of, like, we're never coming back to the Jodie Whittaker era. I mean, I'm not I don't want the Timeless Child to come back, but it would be a shame if suddenly we just, like, and fuck that, you know, fuck that, fuck. I mean, in the same way that it feels like we left the Capaldi era in, like, the dirt very quickly after Jodie came in. Is like, no, let's keep, like, and Russell seems to have adored Jodie's era. Like, he gave so much promotion to it. Like, after he was announced he was coming back, it was like for about a solid year. He didn't talk about his era only when he had to. He kept talking about Jodie's era, and that was
he did more
lovely.
of the promotion than the BBC towards the end of.
They should have just fucking hired him if Chibnall didn't want to do it. Just and have Russell walk around starting talking about my era while I make it. You know.
I guess, what do you think about the actual overall just branding change in general? Because I've not spoken about that really. Obviously, it's going back to 70s logo, a little bit tweaked. What do you think about that, just as the overall face of the show now?
I fucking hate that everyone's suddenly gone, the Jodie era, like, branding was all shit all of a sudden. I was like, well, no one was saying that before. Where have you lot all sprung from? Like, literally, I remember people praising the Jodie logo, me included, of, like, how beautiful it was. And then suddenly, as soon as this diamond one's all come in, everyone's going, the Jodie one, it's bad, it weren't great. This one's so much better. That's my main take.
I always like the Jodie one.
Yeah, so I don't mind it. I didn't think they'd actually go back to the diamond one. It took me a while to get used to it being, like, the horizontal logo. It's two separate fonts. It just hurt my brain a little bit, but I'm fine with the branding. I don't mind, and I do like that they're going, no, this is the branding, not just for the 60th. This is the new logo, because it would be so strange to just have a logo for 1 year,
that's
and
the
then
thing.
it's immediately changed.
Change it across everything. I understand why they changed it as well, because as much as I loved the Jodie one, it didn't really pop on packaging and stuff like that, and I think that's one thing the original Russell T Davies logo did. As ugly as I think it was really good on, like, packaging, and it popped. And I think this has a similar thing to it, whilst just looking a little bit more sophisticated.
And, you know, I like that they did just go back and go, that was a really good logo, let's tweak that and recycle it. Because that's what happened for the TV movie, and, like, and when, like, in Doctor Who's hiatus, you know, the Diamond logo and the John Pertwee logo, they became the show's, like, sort of overall logo, and that still is sort of the approach that is taken for, like, classic series stuff. But now with this new Diamond logo coming in, it does feel like, this is us putting a stamp on what Doctor Who will be for the next 5 years, and I'm happy for that.
I really like it. And that seems about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe and all that.
Bye.
Bye.